other healer that they have.
Yeah, just eliminating a lot of safety just for that the Idris, depending on what build. There's definitely going to be a lot of safety for the Crystal Power build for the Idris. But I'm not surprised with this Idris pickup from Popeyes because it has been a popular pick since Split 2 on this team. And they heavily favored this. And they're going to be getting a Lance. So it seems that they swapped priorities. You mentioned earlier, Asterai, that Lance has been their first pick in certain games.
Yeah.
But this time around, they swapped it all out. You're correct again. Grace has been banned. Take it at the table, Prophet Aserai.
Yeah, so second rotation, I feel like they need something for a much more safer captain. They might go for, I would say, either a Batiste or Batiste or an Arden. But we might not see any Arden today. The jungler could be also good. Maybe a Taka just for the offensive. But we'll just have to see. Impunity.
They did play Fortress back then at Split 2 recently. That was 2 weeks ago. And also Sky as well. I'm looking at their picks right now. So if I were to go over to whatever front line or captains that they have drafted way back, they've gathered up Grace, Catherine, Lance, but they're all taken away because of the bans and because Lance has been picked up by Popeyes earlier. So I'm kind of wondering what kind of dynamics in terms of composition they're going to be forming and paired up with a Scarf, because that's an Idris. It's going to be really tricky and scary for the Scarf if protection is not going to be given. Do you agree with me here, Asrai?
Yeah, true enough. They need something to give this Scarf a lot of protection. And actually, that's the thing. It's kind of weird because in a way, we were thinking like, okay, they do remove the Lyra here for the Table of Impunity, but removing the Grace as well might be a little bit too iffy because you're going to leave the Scarf, in a very vulnerable position since you don't have that protective layer, since there's also the Glaive out of the picture as well. So what's going to be protecting the Scarf? Or the matter is, they might just go heavy dive and then let the Scarf be in the backline just to deal the damage. Because I'm not seeing like a Lyra Scarf combo here like we see, because that's like the sustained poke from afar type of composition. Might not work out because there is no possibility to get that Lyra.
Exactly. It's taken away already as it is banned. But again, they did have the Fortress pick back 2 weeks ago. And whatever it is, if they're going to be going aggressive, then they might have another damage dealer for sure. They picked up Samuel, Ringo, and Vox way back, but it's a crawl, boys. It's a crawl. I did not see this coming, but I guess it is one of the strongest at this point.
It's been a favorite pick for the Say region for these past couple of weeks. They really love how from the dead man come from bush.
Exactly. It just reminds me of the intro earlier where he's just going to stand in the brush, wait for a target, and then kill you and run you over. But anyway, I understand this crawl pick for 2 reasons. Because it is definitely in the meta. Looks like our Giant being taken.
Oh, wow.
And then for Popeyes was the only one that used crawl 2 weeks ago. So it's kind of like a 2 birds and 1 stone kind of thing for their side. So, Anadaran, what do you think about that pick?
Well, I did say that, Arden might not be picked as much, but it seems that they're, on their last pick, they're like, all right, guys, we have to still respect Popeyes here. They still might go for, our Scarf, and our Scarf might not have the best of positioning. He might not have the best of protection as well. So let's just have someone who does. The Vanguard comes out from the Arden, which gives a lot of shield, and then you also have at least the Gauntlet to keep people inside, and that's just going to leave a little bit of an easier time for the Scarf to put out that Goop Fire combo, and even I would say, the Crawl to keep them inside a Coliseum where he can just crawl his way to victory.
Crawl his way to victory. Azra, you've done it again. Applause, applause, applause. Very well made. But anyway, I guess they are being pushed into a corner in terms of picks. Arden is not a bad pick. You've stated already the advantages of what he could offer to this composition. I feel like it works well. I feel like they didn't have much of a choice, but that's a pedal. That's a pedal, boys. Pedal being used, and the crowd is going loud here in our venue at this point.
All right, first game, and we have already shattered the picks that we, secondary defense hero here for Impunity.
I do agree with you there, but let's get over to our first game for today, Impunity versus Popeyes.
So let's see, as it's going to be Popeyes going in for a 3-man rotation here in the jungle. They're going to go aggressive, Quarterbaugh right in their sights, but I don't think Tessa Boy will actually be able to get that one. And this is actually interesting. But I'll talk this a while ago, a little bit later, as it seems that Popeyes will go for the invade. They get the one Treant, and they're going to go for the Elder one as well to the bottom. Good rotations, and they're just going to let their wave sit in the lane, or in the middle of their lane, rather.
Yeah, aggressive rotations coming from Popeyes, very impressive. Again, we have mentioned this earlier at the panel, where there's a lot Popeyes could do in terms of early game rotations, because look at this. This is going to be the first aggression as Tezeboy is choked down to half HP. Is going to be A-okay for now. But just as we mentioned, this is something that Popeyes could work around with, because Impunity is the type that they will just keep you at bay, keep going aggressive, not make you move, not make you rotate into places where you actually want to go. And then that's where they're going to keep snowballing, and Popeyes is just going to have to rethink. But that was before. Again, cannot forget, Popeyes is the one that defeated Infamous at Split 2. So we'll see how this is going to pan out.
They're the prodigal team, the one who were able to return into the Halcyon fold, or rather our VG8C teams, and just show it up. Look at Popeyes. They keep going for this Elder Treant in the bottom side of the jungle, and Impunity, on the other hand, actually going for, from what it looks like, a two-man rotation in the jungle. Then three of them would immediately go to the lane and looks to actually push it. They do have that really good wave clear prowess with this Scarf, and from that, I think they're just going to try to force Popeyes to go back into the lane and maybe force a fight out here, but I don't know if that's actually the best thing here, because, again, like I said, Lance is a pretty dirty hero to go up against. You do have that connection into the Impale, and they get the wall onto the Scarf. Can they follow it up? He has to back away, use the movement speed boost and the Vanguard as well for that safety, so he'll be able to fight for another day.
That was very close. If everyone was already there in the lane, all three members from Popeyes, that was really close. But then again, Vanguard is there for protection, plus it's a bit too early for the really painful damage from Popeye's composition to actually burst the target down as fast as they can. Again, it is just a level 3 power spike, level 2 for some of the heroes here on this fight. So we'll have to see how that's going to pan out. Again, it's really difficult for Popeye's composition to actually kill. At this point, they're going to be a little bit more patient, which is why I understand, since they don't have that much form in terms of sustain, not yet, at this point of the game. So I really understand the rotations that they're coming in. If the lane is pushed on their side, that's the time they're actually going to go back to lane. So far, they're just going to be doing these fast rotations from the jungle towards the lane and probably find a pick. Whoever is going to be a little bit too comfortable on their spot, they could be punished by what you said earlier, by the Gynthian wall, smash into the wall, and then stun lock. Then all the damage goes to that hero.
This is kind of weird. There's this rotation coming out from Popeyes, because if you think about it, well, all right, a little bit out of context there, but if you think about it, the Scarf should be able to push out Aeon 222, or rather the Idris, out of the lane, but there's this like 3-man rotations coming out from both of these teams that kind of like make it so that they don't see each other in the lane. Rather, it should be the jungle, but they've been clearing out quite quickly and haven't seen any much action. But it looks like Popeyes will be going a little bit aggressive here. And well, as this game keeps progressing, without that first blood, without any advantages from either Impunity or Popeyes, I think Popeyes will just scale heavier into the late game.
Definitely, I do agree with you there. It's gonna be scary, and I feel like the Ardan, we might see the first fight here. Asteroid.
And here we go. There's the goop part. Tezeboy taking too much damage. First blood will be able to be had here by Impunity, but here comes the wrath of Popeyes. They want some blood. They get the 1-for-1. That's gonna be Blue City down for the count. And Aeon 222 taking quite a bit of damage. Still, that Idris doesn't have the Shimmer Strike just yet, so no. Yeah. Not too much safety for the Idris there, or comeback potential yet, but good 1-for-1.
Yeah, good 1-for-1 indeed. Gold, not so much going to be impactful in terms of like who's going to be gaining advantage on towards that fight. Again, it was a fight in the jungle of Popeyes, and I definitely think they did not expect that at all. It wasn't in their calculation. One thing that I noticed is that Popeyes really want to become aggressive in terms of lane pressure. Once they spot out that Impunity might be rotating on towards this jungle side, they're going to be taking advantage of that kind of movement because they want to gain more space to rotate, and this might be a flank. Will they find it? Flares are coming right up. looking for the correct target, but they spot this out.
Goop will stop, and look at that slow onto Tessa Boy and Aeon 222. They got to respect that this Scarf is great at stopping these engages at these tight corners. And I think the reason why Popeyes actually go for these jungle fights rather than the lane where it's really big is because these choke points is great for unleashing all that crowd control, and then the Munions just munching onto the opponents. Here comes the fight, and Cordovo has to back away.
Cordovo, 1/4 HP, actually gets back to safety, and that is how this is going to be a little bit too risky once Impunity gets a little bit comfy in terms of their positioning.
Are you dropping the bars on me now, Riku?
You know, you're pretty much, this is a battle between us in terms of like who gets the bars in, but look at that, there's going to be another fight.
Here we go, 2v3 situation in the lane. There's going to be Tezaboy connecting the Impale, but Tezaboy has to back away here as he was a little bit in the danger zone coming out from DefQ's Goop Fire combination. Chingy, also on the other side, was able to get a nice amount of invade there in the jungle of Impunity. Checking out the CS, 23 onto Blue City, 37 onto Chingy. So Petal is kind of getting the upper hand here by about 10 CS.
Due to the pressure coming from Popeyes, that leaves a lot of room to actually make Petal roam around the jungle, get the objectives, farm some more. Because if they leave Scarf and Ardan is not one of the most mobility or mobile type of frontliners that you want. So for Popeyes, they take advantage of that in terms of pressure, and that puts Petal in a comfy position to actually move around the map. So again, Scarf already has that level 6 Dragon Breath, and I expect them to actually utilize that once Ardan has the gauntlet already.
This
so
is
Popeyes.
blood. They want blood right now, and Aeon22 spots it out. There's the Dragon's Breath coming in from DefQ. He's choking him down, but look at Blue City's HP just go so low. Nice Goop coming in from the Scarf just for that slow. Chingy has to back away here. He's a little bit low in HP. Tezaboy still pretty good, but the Spitfires from DefQ will be able to win him a little bit in this clash. Aeon222 has not yet used his Shimmer Strike. He hasn't unleashed the load of the Idris. But oh no! He goes down. Quadribot dives in, gets this. That's a good connection onto Tezaboy. Tezaboy super low, a little bit more, but it's not going to be enough. Aeon222 doing the work. Look at the slashes. He goes in with a shout step, gets the one, looking for the second as well. Ultimate to take it out. Double kill, and Popeyes gets so much from that one. He wants more blood, takes out the shock run, but Cordovo gets that sidestep. And it looked like it should have been Impunity, but Idris, man, Idris.
Aeon is a monster, and I see why Popeyes actually keeps picking Idris. They're very good at actually utilizing this hero. They managed to work it out very well. And that was, I really thought Impunity had that. And I feel like the reasoning behind Chingy just sticking around despite being low health is that he just wants to bait and engage coming from Impunity. It worked out in their favor, except that he exploded right away. And then here it comes. Tezaboy super duper low. He's able to save himself because of the roll. And then Aeon is just, hey guys, have you forgotten about me? I'm here. His presence was felt. And there you go. Finishes off a hero.
Also, if you think about it, there was this point where but hold that thought, it's going to be another tussle here in the jungle side. Tezaboy with the Githian wall already, but there's the damage. Oh no, the From Hellstar does not connect. Blue City has failed to do what he needed to. Impaired as well, and there's a double kill for Popeyes. DefQ, all he can do is try to artillery barrage from the far side, but it's not really going to be enough. And I was about to say, that previous clash, the Scarf had no more energy once the Idris came back for the fight.
Yeah, they used the Dragon Breath, but that's it. A couple of pokes here and there. He had to regen his energy. But then again, props to Popeyes for actually utilizing their advantage. They're not stopping. They keep gaining so much control over the jungle and even towards the lane. Even in gold, after kills, they immediately go towards objectives. And I really like that kind of playstyle because it is going to be Impunity that is going to have a hard time. Again, do not forget, Popeyes are the immortal killers here. Do not forget. Impunity and Infamous have some sort of similar playstyles where they're very aggressive early, and they have really smart and really good rotations. But the thing is, if Popeyes gets ahead of that and not allow, just keep pressuring Impunity and whoever they're going to be facing, this is something that they could keep doing as long as they don't lose their focus on what they really want to do with this composition.
I feel like in terms of momentum, but before that, it's going to be Popeyes to go for initiation once again. Blue City right here on the side, but look at that. Popeyes had the clairvoyance to go for that flare brush, and now they push out Blue City. Blue City is having a whole hell of a hard time to actually find a good FHH the target right now because the positioning is just too good. The Munions is making it so difficult for that Crow to go in aggressive. And now they're going to try to go in for initiation once again. Aeon 222 will actually get caught out here for the moment. Nice connection onto the stun, but the Shroud Step will be able to get him out. Dragon's Breath not really enough there to deal the damage that they wanted to. Aeon, the members of Popeyes are very low, but still they are alive. They can just go in and exit away from the fight and even go into the jungle and just, well, get objectives. Right now, Impunity cannot go for anything else. Tizaboy gonna go back in, and here comes another breakout into the fight. There's the kill, and Blue City is just becoming totally blue in the face.
Blue in the face indeed. Dragon Breath only actually tried to eliminate Tizaboy. They're trying to dive in. Cote d'Ivoire in a very safe spot at this point with Def Q actually regenning already. Here comes the pokes. Wave clear is there. But what happened there was that was good decision making from Tizaboy. He knew that the spot, just as you mentioned, that these choke points are very important and actually engaging and landing all the CCs for everybody else to form a party. Chingy and Aeon can just have a blast, landing all their skills once they all get CC locked. Impunity, on the other hand, I feel like they're going to be having a hard time. You saw how Popeyes just turned into a different team once they reached their level 6. They knew that everything else is just going to be complete. Meanwhile, Scarf isn't at that position yet to deal that much of a damage to actually burst someone down that quickly.
Yeah.
I do imagine, though, that Popeyes in the long run might have a hard time if they do not immediately eliminate Def Q on the Scarf if they do engage.
Yeah, but the thing is here, you have to remember, you have to actually check the items of Def Q. He has a good amount of items already. I believe he has Frostburn and Broken Myth, so he's got the damage. He also has the the battery just for the extra energy. But the thing here is he has no defensive items, only the Oak Heart. So this Sorrow Blade from Idris is hitting like a truck if he actually gets the connection onto Scarf. So even if he does have good damage, it's not enough survivability.
It's going to be a bit too tricky as they're going to be doing the engage. Looks like they're going to be backing away. Vanguard already being used. And that's just going to be scaring the rest of the members from Impunity and respect everything from the clash once they reach level 6. Popeyes at this point has the control over the map. They've secured a good amount of vision already as they're going to be trying to roam towards the jungle side of Impunity. Since they're very much clenched into this area, they're very forced to just use the resources into the jungle side and block all their escape.
Poke at the choke. Here we go. Impunity has to go back into their base, into the embracing arms of Popeyes. The connection onto the Sun and Blue City, and he is going hella super low. There it is, the damage coming in from Aeon 222, and they have dove into the base. No respect coming in whatsoever from Popeyes right here. There is Tizaboy just breathing in onto the flames of Impunity, and he will go down. Popeyes might have actually gotten a little bit too over-aggressive here, but still, that is the ballsiness of Popeyes. You can see how much confidence they have, how much advantage they got in this first game.
Yeah, lots of advantage, but
Chingy.
looks like Chingy.
MVP Century!
Look at that.
No!
Oh no! That's a trap!
He got it!
eliminated.
Spitfire into your face.
Oh, he walked into a trap. It's a trap. So anyway,
It was.
I was thinking that perhaps they could have canceled Idris's back, but I guess they were focusing more on Chingy, making sure that they would take advantage of the running Chingy here on pedal. But look at that positioning, though. Tizaboy initiated the fight, even despite the turret being super duper healthy, and relying on the teammates with Scarf and Cote d'Ivoire on the Arden actually being left out in the open. Dragon Breath already being used, but the problem was there wasn't any follow-up despite the combat roll and the push coming from the lands. So it was a little bit too tricky since they didn't want to take the risk of taking damage from the turret that was still pretty healthy at that point. So I do understand the mindset behind that play, but I guess it could have been executed better.
Better, yeah, true. Here's the other thing that I'm kind of iffy about here right now for Impunity. Arden is basically just going to tap his teammates and give them a shield. That gauntlet coming from the Arden is not as effective anymore because if you think about it, it gets countered immediately by the Crucible. So this Arden has to build an Echo, in my opinion, to make it work. But I don't know if that's like the best build path to maximize what in my mind they need as a true frontliner right now.
Yeah, we have seen it before. Double gauntlet being laid out once the echo has been completed. It is actually pretty effective for a double line of defense, just in case that this Popeyes composition gets a little bit too sticky for them. But I do understand that they would be more investing in terms of like being more aggressive, but looks like Cote d'Ivoire will be leading the charge.
All right, so here we go. There's a 3-man connection onto the Impale. They're going aggressive into it. Gauntlet will come out, but it's not going to be enough. Here comes Idris from the sidelines. Goes in aggressive. Cote d'Ivoire is going to be mincemeat and Blue City. Oh, he is in no man's land, Riku, as we just see an ace 15 minutes in. That's going to be a transition into the crack and a push into the lane. Wow.
Wow, indeed, Asarai. Popeyes executed that clash very well. Eliminated the Scarf. Gauntlet didn't do anything at all. It did not help the Scarf. This is what we were talking about earlier during the draft. We were not sure why Grace was banned. It was Lance being taken out of the table. It was Lyra being banned as well. So not much protection can be offered to this Scarf. And once everybody dives in, there's a lot of people that can actually dive you. So there's the Lance, there's Aeon 22 on the Idris. Definitely the Idris, especially in 16 minutes of the game. It's going to be very, very difficult. Vanguard will not help you at all. The Goop, the slows will not help you at all. And I feel like, Popeyes has really gained their composure here.
I would have wanted to see, aside from, I really didn't like the Arden pick. They could have either gone for Mia. For me, either a Fortress or, before that, it seems like it's going to be the GG push. It's going to be the one shutdown onto the core turret. And look at the damage. This is a Hail Mary defense coming in from Impunity. And it's not going to be enough. No kills just yet. Shigil will be taken down. But that thing is getting smashed down, and the Kraken gets the last hit. GG for the first game.
GG indeed. Very well played by Popeyes. What a clean win. They knew how to play with their compositions.